For shame, for shame. Each not the rabble who screams revolution. Hello, everybody. Hello. Welcome to Her Path, Her Pace, where growth meets grace. And I am your host, Shay. Thank you for joining me for another episode. So, this is March, my birthday month, the best month. Hey. It's my birthday month. Hey. I'm so excited, y'all. I'm about to be a good 26. But that's not what we're here for. It's March, third month of the year. We rounding out Q1. All those things. So yeah, we're just gonna go ahead and dive right into life lately. And this is what I want to say. So I got quite a few things. One thing, I am currently on this new venture and things like that. And what I am learning and discovering as I'm going through this new business venture and all of those things, people, the venture that I'm on requires me to like reach out and like try and solicit business or, get people to take a bite. And, so it comes with, rejection and just being completely ignored, not acknowledged at all, and all of those things. Right. And so, but in this process and all of that and learning that, if anybody that I've reached out to and you're watching this, trust me, I'm not taking it personally. It's just business. And the people I've reached out to are people that I am fans of. I'm still fans of them and all of those things. I just, kind of see a different side because, some of these people, I listen to them. They have their influencers, their podcasters, they have businesses that I like. Actually, I go buy things. I patronize their business. I buy things there. I support so it's not like I am a consumer of them and the things. So as that aspect of it, as a consumer, it's great. I feel great in that because I have such a great consumer experience with them. I thought a business relationship would possibly, but what I am learning, what I am realizing. I'm really people ain't nothing. Everybody hypocrites, for real, because some of the podcast people that I've reached out to I've literally listened to them complain about the same things that they're doing to me. So I'm just like, ooh, okay, it's noted. And like I said, it's not personal. It's just the reality of the situation. And I'm not gonna lie, it does make me just be like, for me, the personal aspect of it for me is that I'm going to do my due diligence to try not to be that. Because I know how it feels, and also knowing and being in it and seeing it, and it's just like, yeah, y'all are just as bad as everybody else y'all complain about, because y'all are quite literally doing the same thing. Why am I chasing you down to respond to an email? That doesn't make any sense. I was definitely taught in business school, in school, at every leadership convention, networking thing I went to, workshop, even if the answer is a no, to keep from damaging the potential relationship, you still respond with that no. You still acknowledge messages. It's kind of ridiculous. Literally one of the it's somebody who has a text now you can text them, well, not text now, but whatever that text number thing is, where you can send them text messages and they text you back, you kind of subscribe like fan mail or whatever. And literally I sent a message about the business, and I think 2 or 3 days later, they sent out a mass message saying, wow, I really appreciate all the love and pouring. I took the time and I've read all of these texts that I've gotten this month. Okay, you clearly didn't actually read all of the text messages you got this month because you didn't even acknowledge mine. Or, or you did read it and that's just reading as, once again, unprofessional. So I'm just saying. And like I said, not taking it personally, because as a consumer, as a fan, as a patron, I still rock with them. That relationship ain't ruined. I mean, I still get what I need as a consumer. It's just on the business side of things. Yeah, you really see how people operate when you try to go into business with them, and yeah, it's different. That's all I can say. It's different, and everything that everybody has complained about, they also perpetrate, like 90%. So yeah, I'm pretty sure I'm going to do my best. So when I am in a position and people are reaching out to me, that they're not sitting here talking about me this way. I really don't want that to happen. I know it's unavoidable. It's going to be some messages and things that fall through the cracks because I'm human, It's just the reality of the business world, and it's interesting to say the least. Yeah, that's that. That's what's going on in life, and I'm realizing that and learning that and seeing that outside of this podcast, and things like that. What else is going on? Oh yes, March 7th, this weekend. Upward Light Community Cipher. Their Cipher event is at the National Civil Rights Museum this weekend from 2 to 5. So you are in the Memphis area and you would like to come and show support, it's going to be spoken word. You're going to have some MCs. And it's going to be a cipher. So come out and enjoy and be in community and all of the things. I don't know. My mind kind of just went blank for a quick second. But yeah, come out, enjoy, participate, join in our hip hop community that we are participating in and trying to grow and build and educating and giving platform space and all things. So yeah, Upward Light Community Cipher this weekend, March 7th to 5. I will see you there. Yeah. Okay. What else we got going on? Oh, and then don't forget, March 14th, the Artist Development Workshop panel is also happening. And remember, the overarching theme of the Artist Development Workshop panel is about understanding who you are as a person and how that can relate into your artistry. Whatever that artistry is, your form of expression, whatever that is, that's the overarching theme. There'll be different segments throughout the event. That is from 12 to 2. The panel, I believe, is towards the end. But like I said, there'll be other things happening throughout the event. That will be at Raleigh Library. So if you are in Memphis, March 14th, 12 to 2, want to know a little bit about alignment and how that's important, or, just talking about artist development and different things like that in different areas. In where artist development can work and shine in different aspects and different careers you can pursue and all those things. So yeah, come out, support this weekend, March 7th from 2 to 5 at the National Civil Rights Museum is the Cipher event, and then March 14th from 12 to 2 is the Artist Development Workshop. So I will see you guys there, both of those events. Yeah. Last update, I am changing my drop day to Tuesday. So guys, strap in for Tuesday episodes, okay? Because the reality is I enjoy resting. And I enjoy taking my break on the weekends. And I'm not gonna compromise my weekends because, well, it's not that I'm not. I've tried and I've been failing at doing it because I need the rest. We all need rest. I need the rest, and I get my rest on my weekends. So you guys are going to get episodes on Tuesdays because that just seems to work better. And I don't want to keep being like, I'm sorry, y'all, inconsistent. No, we're not working on that. We're trying to build consistency. So in order for me to build consistency, I have taken note. I have been using these first 2 months. I haven't been trying to change much. I've just been trying to see how the flow and everything's going. So, but now I see like Monday is kind of a stretch for me. So I'm going to give myself grace and we're going to change the drop day to Tuesday. So I mean, if you got the notifications on, it doesn't matter what day I change to. You'll be notified when the episode comes out anyways. So you should just turn the notifications on so you know when an episode comes out whenever I decide to drop it. But I'm letting you guys know now, the official new drop date is Tuesday. So come to her path, her pace on Tuesday. Yeah. Now, moving right along to share steps, share steps, share steps, share steps, share steps. I kind of got off on that a little bit, but it's okay. So here we go. For this shared steps moment, I want to give flowers to Kiiara Walker, also known as Kikisaidso, or you might know her as Kiki from Cocktails and Dirty Discussions with Kiki and Medina Monroe. I also know her from Exo Man Podcast, and I have her cookbooks. I know her from Classy Based, and I follow her on YouTube. All of those things. So those might be all of the different ways you know her. That's how I know her. All of those things. She's not just a content creator. She is also now a producer. She has multiple podcasts and platforms that center growth, relationships, and real conversations. And that matters because it's one thing to go viral, but it's another to build something that is sustainable, and not just something that's sustainable, but something to have sustainable conversations. But yeah, she has her cookbook, and yeah, it's some good. That mac and cheese recipe in there. Yeah, fine. And what I appreciate most about her, and this is where we get real, is in her conversations as of late that I've noticed is she encourages a lot of accountability without shame. She will literally give advice and say, yes, they did that, but what did you do? What was your role? And that's uncomfortable for a lot of people, but it is necessary, okay? She talks a lot about patterns, about how if you don't interrupt the cycle, you'll keep reliving it with different faces and different names and different scenarios. Yeah, she talks a lot about patterns and about how if you don't interrupt a cycle, you'll just keep reliving it. It just be different faces, different names, and different scenarios, but it's going to be the same thing ultimately over and over again. And that's why she aligns so well with this episode. Because healing isn't about never reacting again. It's about recognizing that pattern when it shows up. Okay? It's about catching yourself. It's about correcting. Kiki encourages people to grow up emotionally, not in a harsh way, but in a real way. She reminds us that maturity is a choice, that self-awareness is a skill, and that evolution requires honesty. And that's powerful. So this shared step is about honoring women who are pushing growth conversations forward, women who challenge you to look inward, and women who aren't afraid to say the hard thing if it leads to better. Okay? So giving Kiiara Walker her flowers for being intentional, being disciplined, and bold enough to call us all to be better. So thank you, Kiki. And that segues perfectly into let's walk through it. I'm a topic of discussion. And I chose Kiki because as we was talking about recognizing patterns and correcting yourself as you're going along and all those things. And I just wanted to talk about just simply how healing itself is not linear. Okay. And I feel like a lot of times people expect, a lot of times there's this expectation of to prove that I'm over it, to prove that I'm done, to prove that I've healed past it. It means immediately if it happens again, I won't be triggered. It means immediately I won't even have that trigger anymore. And I mean, for some, maybe. For all, though, not likely. Okay? So what I want to talk about is just how this was a thing that a point of grace that I took from my teacher, Mrs. McIntosh, in high school, and she was just it was for a class that I was taking of hers, and she just she wanted us to understand because the class that we were taking was a very socially responsible class. Okay, after you took after being in that class, you had no choice but to be socially responsible. It just, and if you chose not to, like, it was a choice at that point. You can no longer blame it on ignorance. You can no longer say it's because you couldn't. Like, that class educated you, and yeah, it changed you, and it either changed you for the better or you decided to stay where. But was she something about that class that she had to get in our heads and get us to understand is that your first thought is what is programmed in you. Okay, it's the next thought that is work, that shows your work, that shows that what you have done is working. Okay, first thought, like when you're first starting out and everything, like, and that's how healing is. And when it comes to triggers and all those things, so in order to understand and know, okay, well, what am I programmed to think versus how to correct it and heal forward and move on and all of those things, you got to be able to address the real problem, because you can't heal what you can't name. You can't heal what you can't name. You can't heal what you won't name. And if you don't actually know what the true source of the trigger is, if you don't actually know what the true issue is, what the true problem is, and like what's causing it and all of those things, you're just gonna find yourself in the same situation over and over and over and over again. Gonna have that same trigger, gonna have the same reaction with the same results, and you're just gonna be looking up like, what in the world am I doing wrong? Why do I keep finding myself in this situation? And it's because you haven't actually figured out what the problem is. Okay, because it's not that the situation will never happen again. It's not that you might not ever find yourself in that situation again. It's more so like you still don't have the proper tools to handle the situation, to not be triggered, to not react the same way, because you haven't addressed the real problem yet. You haven't addressed the real issue. You haven't actually dug deep enough to find that trigger. You haven't actually dug deep enough to find what is causing me to react in this way. Okay, and I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I'm not talking about something just I pulled out of thin air. This is something that I worked through in therapy, still working on, and still figuring out and learning right now. Okay, and I can go ahead and say I thought I had trust issues. And that's part of it. But trust issues wasn't the root issue. Okay? It wasn't just trust. I had control issues, and they were disguised as protection. Okay? What do I mean? Y'all like, what are you talking about? And in terms of friendship and relationship building, this is the most obvious place for it to show up. And the first layer was easy for me to see. The issues with trust, I've talked about it in, I believe, episode 5 a little bit. I touched on it when I was talking about my mom and all of those things, and how trust, my issues with trust, I have experienced issues with trust and how it's shown up in different relationships over time. And it was a result of people not showing up, either people not showing up at all and leaving me disappointed, or people never actually showing up for me the way I show up for them. And it always hurt. It hurt. It hurt me, and it made me angry. And guess which emotion spoke the loudest? The anger. A little monster. And when you speak out of anger and you speak out of emotions and all that, that pushes people away. It makes people go away. Go away, go away. X-nay on her, she cray. Okay? That's kind of that's one part of it. And then as I kept going, so what was my response to keep myself from being in those situations where I needed to rely on somebody or ask somebody something? Oh, I just removed it. I am now in control. I'll just do it myself. That's how I did it. I avoided needing to rely on other people. I avoided addressing my issues with trust by making myself hyper independent, so reliable person in my life. I can do it myself. I'll figure it out myself. It's okay. I'll do it myself. Like literally. Isolation. That was my response. That was my solution. That was my solution to my issues with trust and with people. Cool. So that was how I did that. But what if you dig a little deeper, a little further? As I said, I was always hurt and disappointed. Where did that hurt and disappointment come from? My expectations. So I'm having issues with trust. And now I've added control into there. So now I forced myself into some kind of isolation. And as a response to all of that, I've made myself hyper independent and I'm not going to rely on anybody. Cool. And that has made me also reflect and be like, I have this high expectation of people. And I was expecting me out of other people. And once I really sat with that, like digging, diving. Now, keep in mind, I did all this work in therapy. And journaling. To untangle those layers. But the truth of the matter is the toxic nature of everything for me lied in me turning expecting myself and other people kind of turned into I need for people to only respond in this way. I need for people to only be this way. I need this and this and this. Otherwise, I am marking you off. Like, so it no longer was like I was no longer allowing people to just be humans. And I was placing control and frame on expectations. And if you fell short, you was out of there. Across the board. And that's not healthy. Yes, it is healthy to have standards. Yes, it is healthy to have expectations. Should I expect people to be me though? No. I'm my own person. Why would I ever expect people to be me? I'm a unique individual. Nobody thinks like me. People have different backgrounds and all of those things. Like that comes with it. So why would I expect people to be me? That's not fair to anybody. That is an impossible standard for anybody to live up. How can someone ever live up to being you? Didn't know it then, but yeah, I see the error in my ways. And college was a great example of that. And so college was a great example of me only addressing part of the issue. Because like I said, I easily saw, like I could clearly see, clear as day, that I had issues with trust. I had issues relying and depending on other people. Like I said, if you want to get the backstory and all that a little bit, you can go listen to episode 5. I ain't going in that today. But yeah. And so the way I was like, okay, we're gonna do this different. We're gonna go all in and give it our all was when I got to college. It's not that I trusted everybody, but I definitely was way more open, and that was the biggest friend group I've ever had in my life. Okay. I ain't never hung out with that many people and actually called them friend. Okay. Okay. Like that was huge. Huge for me. So I was like, okay, if you having issues with trust people. Duh. Let people in. Duh. But you know what happened? You know what happened? When all of those people disappointed me? Well, no. When those people disappointed me, when some of those people disappointed me, I reacted once again out of emotion. And there was an overreaction that came because of it. And it was like similar pattern, similar things when things happen every time. I trust you. Okay, cool. Something happens. Oh, you don't show up for me the way I expect you to show up because of my so okay, to control the situation, I just X-nay the situation. Boom, move on. Boom, move on. Boom, move on. And then that happened in college. And as I've said, well, I don't know if I've said it or not, but with my college friends and everything, I realized the error in my ways. And I can be honest and be like, I was wrong for overreacting and just cutting everybody off and going ghost on every single friendship. Why? Because that wasn't fair to the reality of each individual friendship. Each friendship was different. But by grouping everybody all together and just saying, forget all y'all, fuck all y'all. That's actually what I said. And saying, I don't need this. Since no one showed up, not taking the fact that I had some low maintenance friends that we didn't talk every day. I had some people who they were also going through it at the same time that I was going through it. So like they literally didn't have the capability to pick themselves up either. So it's just like, I didn't take any of that into consideration when I was hurting and going through. And that was not right. That was not good friend of me. That was not a good characteristic. That was a flaw. And I have to be honest and I have to be accountable and say, I was wrong in doing that because I was. And I realized that in therapy, in journaling. Okay. So, and also what it showed me is that once like I thought the issue was with trust and just letting people in and allowing people in. But no, that was only one layer of the cookie. I literally had issues with control, which is why I ended up cutting everybody off because oh my goodness. That's how when I panic and whoop, whoop, you're just gone. Whoop. Gone. And my expectations. Like that one time, like it X-nayed every single other time that they did show up for me. Like that's a bit ridiculous. That was it was a bit ridiculous, and it wasn't fair of me. And I can say that I was wrong. I made a mistake, and I had that flaw. I needed to address more. It was more there that needed to be addressed and healed and worked on, right? And so fast forward a couple years, no, fast forward, time passes. I'm not talking to those people. I've started to build new friendships and all of those things. Right. So my birthday coming up, all that, right? So leading up to my birthday, like I said, I was building new friendships and, talking to people and things like that. And here's the thing. I planned a trip. Everybody was, yay, gung ho, let's go. Came time to confirm if you could go or not even pay it. Just let me know if you could go or not. Everybody went ghost except one person. And you know what I did? Same trigger. Same reaction. Okay. But, the caveat. This is the caveat. This time, I recognized the pattern. I recognized what I was doing. I took accountability and I took, what's it called? Taking whatever. I stopped and was like, whoa, wait. Why would you cut everybody off? Why would you go ghost on everybody when you, like, everybody didn't do you wrong? Why would you do everybody else wrong when everybody didn't do you wrong? Literally. What was that one person who responded to you? That one person who did say something to you? Why would you group her in that? And what was so crazy is, like, that entire time after that, when it happened, every time somebody would ask me, when my sisters would ask me about my birthday plans, I would always say, I am not mad at her. Like, because I genuinely was not. I genuinely was not upset. I took note of the fact that she did respond. And I kept saying that over and over. She's the only person who actually even gave me, like, the decency and respect and honored our friendship to even, like, actually still communicate with me and not just disappear on me. Right? Like, literally everybody else did. And it was my birthday trip. Like, people going ghost for you on your birthday trip is a bit crazy. It's a bit wild. But she responded. And I was like, and in turn, what did I do? I treated her like she wasn't shit. I treated her like everybody else. Was I mad at her? No, I wasn't. I actually wasn't. But it didn't stop my reactions, my body from, like, hold on, Mike's still recording? Yeah. It didn't stop me, and it didn't stop me from reacting the same initially. Okay? Initially. It didn't stop initially. But I paused and said, whoa, wait. And I recognized that I was doing the same thing again. And I did not want to keep that cycle. I did not want to repeat the same issue. I want to be better. I want to do better. So you know what I did? I texted her. I reached out to her and I spoke to her and I apologized because I was wrong. And that's how I know I am healing. That's how I know that it's working, because I was able, thank you, God, to sit back and recognize that also with the work that I put in therapy and the tools for my toolkit and journaling and staying steadfast. Like, I was able to see the error in my ways. And yeah, it cost us a couple years. I'm not gonna sit here and lie. It cost us some time. It did come at a cost. It wasn't just all peaches and cream, yada 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 yada. And the thing is, she also apologized. Whatever. I mean, not whatever to her, not whatever to her apology. That's just, she also apologized because she felt like she should have reached out too. As a friend, she should have reached out and not assumed that I was just mad. And even if I was mad, if she was my friend, she should have still said something. And she apologized for that. I ain't even blame her for that, because I ain't gonna hold you. I felt like, I was just like, dang, I was wrong. And, like, yeah, she could have, but I was wrong. So that's just how I felt about the situation. And so the proof that I was healing wasn't in the fact that I didn't get triggered, wasn't in the fact that I didn't react. The proof was that I corrected myself. And that is what accountability looks like. That is the reality of healing. Okay? You will still get triggered. And when you get triggered, you're gonna default. That's it's work in progress. You're gonna feel that old emotion rise up again. But that does not mean you're not healing. True healing comes with grace and accountability, because that is where growth lies. Okay? Like, I want to bring back up that Maya Angelou quote that I said a few episodes ago. When do the best you can until you know better. When you know better, do better. And that applies here in this situation, in this healing, in this journey as well. Okay? It applies to healing too. Correct yourself. Don't shame yourself. Adjust. Pivot. All right? Like I said, healing isn't linear. The test is not in not being triggered. The test is in the correction. Are you willing to step up to the plate, face the honest truth about what is really going on and where you also can improve, and be honest and face it, and then do the real work to heal? Because like I said, it ain't easy. It ain't gonna happen overnight. It's gradual. It's literally like that was 2 years between me and her. It cost us 2 years. I haven't even spoken to those college friends. So like that's the difference. That's the healing. It ain't linear. It ain't pretty. Yeah, I messed up still. Yeah, I still was triggered by the same thing. And yeah, I still initially reacted the same way, but I went back and I corrected myself. I stopped and caught myself and corrected. Took me 2 years. Yeah, it took me some time, but I still did it. That doesn't change the fact that I still did it. And that is healing. That is active healing. That is what healing looks like. That's what it's going to be like. So don't feel bad. Don't you have to give yourself grace and understanding. Like I said, grace and accountability is where real growth lies. And that is when your healing begins. Okay. It ain't always gonna be pretty. Yeah, you still might be triggered by the same thing. Okay? Just dig a little deeper. Find the real source. Find the real reason and be honest about it. So you can finally address it and actually put work into the actual source, into actual what's actually bothering you. Dig deep, dive, really face it. Do some digging. Do some digging. Grace and accountability is where growth lies. And that's all I have to say about that. Like I said, the test is not in not being triggered. The test is not in not reacting. The test is in the correction itself. It's the proof that you are healing. So yeah, it's okay if you stumble a couple of times along the way. We are humans. It happens. We are flawed. But how are you going to correct yourself? What is that second thought? Not that first one. What's the second one? What's the one when you really sit down with yourself and think? What's your true inner voice? And I promise you, you probably have done way more healing than you realize. So just food for thought. That's what I wanted to talk about today. That's all I have to say about that. Now we're gonna move along to letters along the way. Letters along the way. Way. Yeah. We have made it to letters along the way. This is the part of the podcast where you can share your stories, your lessons, your advice, your viewpoints. If you would like to share them, you can email those letters to lettersalongtheway@gmail.com. That is lettersalongtheway@gmail.com. You can also email if you would like some advice. I am not a doctor. I did not go to school for psychology, sociology, all of those things. Took a couple classes, but I ain't go to school for it. Not licensed. I am not a therapist. Okay? All I can do, I can give you the best I got. It's not. I'll give you the best I got. So, I mean, if you want it, you can also email those letters to Letters Along the Way. Once again, that email is lettersalongtheway@gmail.com. Oh, we're gonna keep on moving along. Keep on moving along. All right, we're going on to our playlist. This week on her playlist, since my girl Mona Leo is coming to town, I've been bumping her, like, actually nonstop. Getting ready. I love Mona Leo. And the song that I'm going to highlight today is Diary of an OG. And I want to highlight the song because I feel that song. I feel every single lyric, every word. I really genuinely, my dad's oldest, and like that expectation that is all like you carry with you no matter what room you walk in, no matter where you go, how far you go in life. Like, it's something about it just always being there. And the way she put it in the song, just it perfectly embodied that feeling of being, and not just being an oldest daughter. It's that feeling of being your dad's oldest daughter. Okay. Yeah. If you go listen to that song, you get a little insight into my brain and a little insight into my feelings and all those things. But yeah, not to say, I'm not even gonna do any of those caveats. But yeah, I like the song. I connect to the song and I understand the song. And I feel, when I listen to that song, I feel seen. I feel heard. So yeah, Mona Leo, Diary of an OG is our song for the week. Okay, all right. And I'm gonna keep trucking right along to blow up goals, blow up goals. So for our glow up goals, actually, I'm gonna do something a little different. I am inviting you guys to this 75-day challenge that I want to embark on as we enter into Q2 of the year, and all of those things. I am not starting right away. This is an invitation. I will be starting March 15th. So I'm just opening the floor to the podcast to join in. And you can change the things that you do, or you can join in me doing these things. So a part of my 75-day challenge, I will be working out every day. I am also eating cleaner, so it's going to be high protein, high fiber meals. So that is also it. We have no drinking. It's 75 days. No drinking. Which, yeah, I don't really drink that much now that I think about it. So, anyways. And actually, I'm gonna take that off because I don't really drink that much. So we are working out every day and we are eating clean up for sure. Because I'm pairing that because what's the point of working out if I'm not gonna eat right to support the working out? Doesn't make any sense. Won't see no results. That's a waste of time. I'm not trying to waste my time. So we are gonna work out every day and we are eating clean, high fiber, high protein meals. And then we are going on a 30-minute walk every day as long as the weather permits. Okay, so yeah, as long as it ain't raining outside, you should go on a 30-minute walk every day. And then I am also going to read a chapter out of the Bible every day. I haven't decided which book I want to start with, or if I just want to start at the beginning of the Bible. I'm still praying on that. And then I will also be reading uh 10, at least 10 pages out of a, like, just a book for me to read for fun, because I'm not gonna lie, I've kind of fallen out of my for fun reading because of school, and I don't want to lose that again. So I'm going to put it in my practice again. And then what else did I say? Working out every day, eat clean, 30-minute walk, read a chapter out the Bible, read 10 pages a day out of a book. And I believe there was one more thing I had on there. It's right on the tip of my tongue. Hmm. Okay. Well, if it comes to me, I'll mention it. But yeah, that's that. So yeah, that's gonna be our glow up goals for so the next 75 days. Oh, that's what it is. And journal. I'm going to journal every day. That's what it is. So yeah, journal, and you can curate your 75-day challenge however you so please. If you would like to join in on mine and do exactly what I'm doing, that is also welcome. But you don't have to do what I'm doing. Make your own if you would like. But those are going to be our glow up goals for the next 75 days. So I'm still going to include a daily affirmation, 75 days. But yeah, that's those are our glow up goals. So prepare. Just prepare. This is to give you time to prepare for that. Okay? Okay. Now we're just gonna keep trucking right along, trucking right along, trucking right along. We have reached Grace Notes. This is our words of encouragement for the week. And the quote that I wanted to leave you guys with is that trees grow at their own pace. What matters is you're growing. That is from House of Pain. I've been binge watching House of Pain. I believe Laura said it on an episode to Calvin when he was comparing himself to Miranda's date that she had brought in. I think Pierre or something like that. And that was what she said to him. And that's true. Like, that's true here. And I think it's a needed reminder in society today where, once again, like, it's very easy, like, comparison is the thief of joy, and it is very easy to get bogged down and weighed down with seeing other people's accolades and going and going and lifting up, and you feel stagnant. It it is a hard reality. So it is a nice reminder to know trees grow at their own pace. What matters is that you're growing. That's what matters. And that is the grace for this week that I want to leave with you. What matters is that you're growing. Okay. So we have reached the end of this episode. I would like to thank you guys so much for tuning in. Once again, our new drop day is going to be on Tuesdays now. So you guys can expect your episodes on Tuesdays. Yes. Check the description box below to see all of the updates. Don't forget March 7th, Upward Light Community Cypher at the National Civil Rights Museum from 2 to 5. And then March 14th at the Raleigh Library, we will have the Artist Development Panel workshop as well. So I hope to see you guys there. Go ahead and like, comment, share, subscribe, turn on those post bell notifications so you are notified every time a new episode drops. Also, guys, give me some feedback. Let me know what you like, what you don't like, what you think I should change, what I could do better. Some, because I'm kind of still winging it. I would like to interact with you guys. That'd be great. So yeah, please be sure to engage. But yes, don't forget, you guys, to pause, breathe, take a beat, and always remember to give yourself grace. Until next week, guys. Bye.